Hey everyone, and welcome back to the X-Ring. So I've got a really exciting episode for you today, and what I want to do is talk about why we have these rifles with these long barrels and everything else. And it is because we're doing PRS shooting. So Matt, what is your definition of PRS shooting?
Precision rifle series?
Yeah, precision rifle series or precision rifle shooting.
Shooting.
And a lot of you guys say, well, I can do that with my hunting rifle. But what we'll do is we'll talk about what it is. Basically, it's about a 90-second stage. That's kind of the standard.
Yeah.
And, we just shot the Hornady PRC, so we have a pretty good understanding of what PRS is and how it runs. They're not blind stages. They're going to give you the targets. They're smaller targets, and they'll give you multiple positions to shoot from. Sometimes it's one shot per target, but typically it's going to be 2 engagements per steel.
Just depends on the stage.
Yeah, so this is going to be more about the caliber. So we've got Matt on the end here shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor. And guys, if you're doing long range shooting, almost everyone's moved away from the 308 Winchester because that 6.5's got a better ballistic coefficient. And it does great, but if you're shooting a PRS match, your typical shots are going to be, 1,000 and in?
Yeah.
Unless you do the PRC, and then we're shooting out to 1,300 yards. But either way, that 6.5 Creedmoor does the job and does it well. Most guys are shooting 140 grainers, sometimes 147 grain. But the problem is the follow-up shot. Let's say you shoot and you miss the target.
That's the important part.
You got to be able to see that splash of where you missed, or at least be able to see your trace. So hence the 6.5 Creedmoor for PRS kind of is dying out, and you're starting to see everybody shooting these 6 Creedmoors. It's now the #1 cartridge for PRS. But then there's another group of competitors that are taking that next level, and basically all they're doing is sizing the neck from a 6.5 264 bullet down to a 243. Now, for all of you guys, I want to take some people off here. Why don't you just shoot a 243? Well, it's different because the shoulder angle is different, and these lend themselves to more ballistically coefficient bullets, the longer ELD bullets.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, okay? But what you're going to give up is something that can get 2,500 rounds, 3,000 rounds before the barrel's really shot out, to a 6 Creedmoor, 12 to 15.
Yeah.
Enter the 6 ARC. A lot of people asked about this 6 ARC, and the 6 ARC is that other group of people that shoot the 6 Dashers, the 6 XCs, the 6 GTs. What are some other ones, guys? 6 BR.
Yeah, 22 Creedmoors.
Yeah, 22 Creedmoor. These guys are trying to get shorter cartridges that have the same BC and that can reach those distances with high velocity. The problem is there hasn't been a good availability of ammunition selection as far as brass. You got to fire form, you got to trim. What else?
A good example is when you had a 6 Creedmoor, I was calling it a cheater round.
Yeah, he called it a cheater, and look what he's got.
I went from a 6.5 Creedmoor to a 6 Creedmoor just to see where my impacts were.
Yeah, so it made a huge difference. You guys know that I rebarreled the AI with a pre-fit, and I noticed a difference with the recoil, but what I lacked on it was I got a little more wind drift shooting factory ammo. So if you're going to hand load, that 6mm Creedmoor can be pushed to where the wind drift and all that's going to kind of match the 6.5 Creedmoor. So now we get into the 6 ARC, and a lot of people say, well, look, you're just trying to rewrite the book again. Well, no, it has factory support from Hornady. You've got all the manufacturers on board, the barrel makers on board, the dyes, Redding, Hornady, everyone. So with that factory support, now you've got factory cases. You're not having to go and spend $1.50 per case, for brass. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this today, and I've got a test I want to do. What I'm going to do is we're going to mess with the windage knobs on his rifle. We're going to be able to adjust it 1/2 mil up or down, and we're going to tell him to engage the target twice. We want to see how he is able to see those misses and be able to make that second shot correction. Same thing for the 6, same thing for the 6 ARC. We'll also be using the Tacticam, the 5.0, so that you guys can kind of see real time inside of the reticle itself. We do realize we're going to lose a little bit of eye relief. It's going to be a longer video, but some of you guys have been asking for longer videos to get more in depth on why we're going down this path. Yeah. And the reason is, if you want to be a competitive shooter, you've got to have the right equipment. Can you go out there with bad equipment and win? Yeah, if you're that guy, you probably could, but you're going to be giving up a lot if you don't have the right gear. Anything you guys want to add?
It all goes back to being able to spot your shot.
That's it.
If you can't spot your shot, your next shot's what? Just another guess in the wind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Guess in the wind.
No, and I think we're going to all shoot on what? 12, 15 power.
Yeah, we're going to pick the same power for all the scopes so
Yeah.
that you don't have some kind of irregularity saying, well, his jump's a lot because it was on 15 power. We're going to choose the same power. Matt here is also dropping down to either a 6 Creedmoor or a 6 Arc because he realizes even with that precision chassis setup, which he can do anything he wants to do, but if he wants to be that much more competitive, he's going to really kind of need to drop down.
Gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to compete with the low recoil cartridges. So.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really good episode. Guys, stay tuned. All right, guys, so what we're going to do to make this fair, we're going to start Matt off on the 6.5 Creedmoor. I've got a Tacticam 5.0 on here. If you guys haven't checked it out, big shout out to Tacticam. They did provide the equipment for it. When we say go, you're going to drop down. Magazine's going to already be inserted. We'll give them that. They can have the bag. And it'll be 2 rounds at 700 and then 2 rounds at 600. And you guys will be able to see firsthand what he's going to see as far as recoil and everything else. The caveat is we are going to play with the windage before he can do anything. So what I'm going to do is, he's not looking right now. This is what I'm going to do. If you guys can see it, I'm going to move this. We can go up 5/10, left, right, 5/10, or right 5/10 if we want to. I am going to go tenths, and we'll see what happens, see what his recovery is. He might be able to do it, I'm not sure, but remember, 2 at 700, 2 at 600. He's ready. Stand by. So 6.5 Creedmoor, 2 shots at 700. So he knows that he missed. Did he see it?
Still off that edge.
Go to 600 quickly for time. All right, so 1 impact out of 4 shooting the 6.5 Creedmoor. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Rick on it. We'll have him do the exact same thing with the same rifle. 4 rounds. Stand by. He's going 700 yards first. And guys, we do have a lot of wind today. Nothing.
No call.
And he said no call. He wasn't able to see.
Ah.
Now he's moving to 600. He's got to put his dope in.
2 tenths right.
3.4.
2 tenths right. This high elevation. It's slow.
Okay, so he went 0 and 4 shooting the 6.5 Creedmoor. Now, guys, this is a really tough exercise, but you're never going to get your wind call exactly right. That's why I'm playing with it. I actually dialed in 3/10 on this rifle as well. I didn't change it. Now, these guys are going to have to mess with it for me. If I want to do it, I'm going to owe Matt 12 rounds, but at least it's worth this effort to see it. We're going to do the same thing down the line, see if it changes anything. All right, guys, so now it's my turn. I've got the camera going. Remember, nobody's supposed to make a first round impact because they've adjusted the dials. So if you incorrectly make a wind call, I mean, there's nobody that's going to make a first round impact because you're guessing on the first shot. The problem is, can you see the field of view, spot your impact, and make a correction based off of that, based on the information you have? All right, so that's what we're dealing with. Ready?
Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by.
Impact. So one impact. Now I saw where it was going, and I was able to spot it out at 700. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the 6mm Creedmoor. We'll try it with that. It wasn't too hard to spot it because the mirage is down, but you really had to be looking because you had to be quick on it because of the recovery time. Now remember, all of these rifles have muzzle brakes on them as well, or compensators. All right, next up is the 6mm Creedmoor. We have taped the turrets. I've already adjusted it for Matt. So Matt's going to have 4 rounds. On you, sir.
Aye.
No, don't say anything. 2 misses. Now he's going to 6. That's an impact. And that's an impact. So now he's got 2 impacts. So he's gained a point over the 6.5. All right, good job, Matt. Let's move it on over to Rick. Let me adjust the knobs. All right, so we've adjusted his turret. Let me go ahead and get the Tacticam going. All right, 700 yards. Shooter ready? Stand by.
Half a mil. 1.6.
Impact. And impact. So he also bettered his score by 1 shooting the 6mm Creedmoor. Interesting. All right, Tacticam's going. Magazine of 4. On you guys.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
That's an impact. Need to hear a call. Impact. All right, so that's 3. So guys, let's think about that. And guys, you must have dialed in like 4 to 5 tenths, right? Didn't you?
I didn't dial it.
So I was having to hold about a mil, but I was able to spot it and immediately get back on target and know what that hold needed to be. So I've bettered my score over that by 2 more impacts. So 3 hits, 1 hit. The 6 arc, I don't think is going to be able to beat that because like I said, that first shot, even if I do make a first shot, it's pure luck because you don't know where it's going to be. We're still going to do it with the 6 arc. Try it. We'll see where the scores end up. All right, so we've got Matt on the 6 arc. We have the Tacticam going. You shooter ready? Stand by. Impact.
90-degree bolt.
Is that magazine? You're good. You're good. Yep, that worked.
Impact.
3-2 is your dope.
Put it on 0.
All right, so he got 3. Go ahead and unscrew that scope cap because Rick just made a comment and he was like, what did he do? Put it on 0? These were zeroed out turrets. I put him 4/10 left. 4/10 left. So I don't know how he did that. We do have a lot of wind out there today, but he did get 3. All right, wind has been adjusted. Camera's recording. All right, shooter, ready.
Ready enough.
Stand by.
I don't think that picked up.
Impact. Gotta yell it. Just pull straight down hard. Some of those Hornady factory rounds are sticky. You're good. All right, so 2 impacts with the 6 arc. So it's holding its own with less recoil than the 6 Creedmoor. It's pretty cool.
I'm just having trouble with, there's a lot going on in that scope.
Oh,
So seeing the impact is a little bit tougher, but it's
Yeah.
nice having all that in there too.
yeah.
Stand by.
Did I get one?
Yeah.
I did.
It feeds so smooth.
It feeds
You
smoothly.
can even tell. It's only half a bullet in there.
Oh, y'all did a ton of right on me. I see how y'all are.
It wasn't that much.
Be on that target.
Oh, it's out the right. So, guys, you can see, especially with this point of view camera using the Tacticam, how little recoil there is in being able to follow up with those impacts. So, it significantly increased all 3 of our hits, regardless of skill level, over the 6.5 Creedmoor. I think it's so close on these 2 between the 6mm and the 6 arc. It'd be tough to call that. However, the recoil is significantly less. The people back here also said it is significantly quieter. You know, you've got 10 grains less of powder in there, but I think this was a great test. I think we're going to do some positional shooting, see if it gets you out of position. We'll talk about the importance of bags. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that review. What I want to do is get some feedback from these guys because this is the first time you guys have shot the 6 arc, especially at distance. Same thing for me. So what'd you think, Matt?
Well, the 6.5, the 6 Creedmoor, and the 6 arc, I'd say hands down the 6.5 has a lot more felt recoil, and I think you're going to see that in the scope cam. And it was a pretty close.
And all these weigh the same, don't they? They're all 21, 22 pounds.
Pretty plus or minus a pound.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're pretty close.
But the difference between the 6 arc and the 6 Creedmoor, I think I'm going to have to give the edge to the arc for a little bit less felt recoil, just a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay. What do you think, Rick?
I think the only thing I had an issue with was just not being used to that reticle.
I was really pleased with the 6 arc. I really was. And we're going to do some more shooting. I'll know better when we start working off barricades and stuff. But I'm pleased with the build. Big shout out to Kenny over at Desert Precision Gunworks. Now, for the filming, we did use the Tacticam 5.0. I have a lot of people ask me about this. Now, you can't just buy this and it work. You'll have to also buy the FTS Prism that works on there. But I've actually shot matches with it on there, and it's really cool to be able to see what you were doing, see the impacts. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's a longer video, but I think this is really good information. And for all the naysayers talking about the 6 arc, I think it has its place in a bolt gun. It's too close to the 6 PPC, which has been around for, what, 40 years? And it's still like the #1 cartridge in bench rest. I know this isn't bench rest, but it still fulfills that job. So guys, like, share, and subscribe. Anything you guys want to say?
Have a great day.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Good one.